Everything created contains two principal factors: instructions and an assignment with distinct abilities to make a positive contribution in the earth to solve specific problems in others. And within those instructions are invisible assignments that point directly towards a specific calling, purpose, and destiny. In other words, what you were originally called to do. And although most people look for those instructions everywhere else but inward, your purpose is not decided by you, it's discovered in you. I call this destiny, which was given to you by God, that not only validates your existence here on the earth, but it is also why opposition fights you so hard. If you ever find out exactly what you were created to do, you become a viable force that is absolutely necessary to the positive contributions that you were put here on the earth to make. But here's the challenge. Instructions, just like assignments, can go unknown, ignored, or even distorted, because you can choose if you want to follow them or not. People do this all the time. This is why the search for things like self-identity and the desire for fulfillment in life is at an all-time high. If you don't know who you are or why you're here according to the one who gave you your purpose, you will look for an external influence to validate you instead of the internal instructions that are already in you that point towards the reason why you're here. So, I reiterate my previous statement. You can choose whether or not you want to follow these instructions or not. But one thing is for sure, they do exist. And even though those internal instructions oftentimes are invisible, once realized, they can no longer be doubted or ignored. I mean, examine an apple seed, for example. It is impossible, even within a microscope, to see the written and clearly defined instructions given to that apple seed to produce more apples. Yet, the command can never be denied. You plant 1,000,000 apple seed and not one of them will produce a tomato. Why? Because the instructions are already defined and cannot be refuted. The product is the proof. Watch this. But just because a thing tastes or feel or smell or sound or even look like a thing doesn't qualify it to be the same. For example, a peach and a nectarine. They look similar, but at their molecular structure level, they are two different kinds of fruit. And the deciding factor is not determined by our 5 physical senses. They're determined by their inward ability to reproduce after their own kind. In other words, their seed. Listen, Genesis 1:11 says, "And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed," listen to this, "is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. Now, you can look inside that seed and analyze it all you want. You can even try it for a lifetime to locate the instructions on how it produces its fruit. But you will never find it because the instructions are not visible. Yet, a peach and a nectarine are produced from within themselves, which proves the argument that within every created entity, there is an innate ability and desire and command to increase, produce, and multiply the ability to reproduce after its own kind. And the same thing, my friends, applies to you. You were created to reproduce the goodness of God through Jesus Christ. That's your assignment, children of God, and why the fight to find out what and why you're here for such a time is so intense. This is why you weren't born 100 years ago, and this is also why you had to be born in the geographical location that you were born at. God made you to reproduce after his kind in the earth, where you are and where he will send you. The only thing left to do is to search on the inside of yourself to find your own specific instructions, especially the ones that point to the reason why you were put here on the earth in the first place, which again is to make a positive contribution in the earth. You do this, my friends, and your purpose and your destiny will be defined. This is your destiny. Your assignment and instructions are waiting for you to respond. Amen. Until next time.